We are obsessed with the stars. We look up at the night sky and see a frontier of infinite possibility. We see the future. But if you look down, you see the past, and you see a hunger. There is a debate that has quietly raged among explorers for decades. Which environment is more hostile, space or the deep ocean? Space is a vacuum. It is empty. It is cold. But astronomists have a saying: space is passively trying to kill you. It doesn't care if you exist. The ocean is different. The ocean is actively trying to kill you. It is a pressurized, crushing, watery murder dungeon filled with things that have evolved over millions of years, specifically to hunt, trap, and consume. Let's talk about the physics of death. If you were ejected from an airlock into space without a suit, you wouldn't explode. That's a Hollywood myth. You would swell up, bruise, and pass out from lack of oxygen. Your body would float, perfectly preserved in the vacuum, potentially for millions of years, a frozen monument to your existence. The ocean does not preserve, it erases. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the pressure is over 8 tons per square inch. That is the equivalent of an elephant standing on your thumb. If a hull breaches at that depth, it is not a leak, it is an implosion. It happens faster than the nerve impulses can travel from your body to your brain. You would be physically annihilated before you even realized you were dead. And whatever is left, it doesn't drift forever. It becomes food. In the deep, nothing goes to waste. Specialized zombie worms called ossidacs have no mouths and no stomachs. They secrete acid to drill into bone and rely on bacteria to digest the fats inside. In space, you are a traveler. In the ocean, you are nutrients. We search the galaxy for aliens, desperate for a sign of life. Yet we ignore the aliens swimming in our own basement. This is the barrel eye fish. Those spots above its mouth? Those aren't eyes, they are nostrils. Its real eyes are those glowing green tubes inside its transparent skull, looking upward through its own brain. And then there is Phronema. If this creature looks familiar, it's because it was the literal inspiration for the monster in the movie Alien. It doesn't just kill its prey, it hollows out the body of a salp, climbs inside the corpse, and rides it through the ocean like a vehicle, laying its eggs inside the walls so its babies have something to eat when they hatch. And we are still finding them. In 2025, researchers in the Southern Ocean discovered the death ball sponge. It doesn't filter water like a normal sponge. It is a spherical killer covered in tiny hooks that snag passing crustaceans and digest them alive. Space is scary because it is empty. The ocean is scary because it is full. In space, no one can hear you scream. There is no medium for sound waves to travel. The void is silent. The ocean is never silent. Sound travels 4 times faster in water than in air. In 1997, hydrophones across the Pacific recorded a sound so loud it was detected by sensors 3,000 miles apart. It was titled the bloop. For years, scientists debated if it was biological, a beast massive enough to scream across an entire hemisphere. While we now believe it was likely an icequake, an iceberg cracking the ocean floor, the terror remains. Why? Because in the ocean, you can hear things thousands of miles before you can see them. Imagine floating in the dark, hearing a low-frequency rumble getting louder and louder, coming from everywhere at once. You don't know what it is, you don't know where it is, you only know it is coming. There is a specific fear associated with the ocean called thalassophobia. It's not just a fear of water, it is a fear of liminality, of being suspended in a place where human biology does not belong. Nowhere is this more real than Point Nemo, the pole of inaccessibility, the furthest point from land on Earth. If you were stranded here, the nearest humans to you would be the astronauts on the International Space Station, orbiting 250 miles above your head. It is here that we dump our dead spacecraft, a graveyard of titanium and silence. But Point Nemo isn't just a cemetery for space junk. It is the geographic location H.P. Lovecraft chose for the sunken city of R'lyeh. Coincidence? Probably. But it reminds us of a chilling truth. We have lost nuclear bombs in these waters. We have lost entire submarines like the USS Scorpion and the K-129. We have found ships like the Kaz-2 drifting with engines running, laptops open, and food on the table, but the crew vanished into thin air. The ocean takes, and it rarely gives back. Space represents the future. It represents hope. It is a blank canvas where we project our dreams of expansion and survival. But the ocean? The ocean is our nightmare. It is the dark subconscious of our planet. It is the place where our biology fails, where our physics are crushed, and where monsters are not science fiction. They are taxonomically classified facts. We look to the stars to find meaning. We look to the ocean and pray it doesn't look back.